What's up, PML? It's Smiley Rojo here with the Rookie Watch for Week 7. Just finished up Week 6. Gonna hop right into this Week 7. Then we'll be all caught up. Next one, Week 8, is going to be a big one. Instead of just doing a week recap, I'm going to go ahead and, since it's about mid-season, I'm going to go ahead and look at all the top contenders for Rookie of the Year on the offensive side and on the defensive side. Thus far at the halfway through point. So we'll go ahead and, instead of just looking at on a 1 week performance basis, we'll go ahead and see how everyone's stacked up to Week 8, halfway through the season so far. And we'll do that with Week 8. But right now, Week 7, we're just going to do the normal top 5. We'll go down from 5 to 1. And then we'll do some honorable mentions. List is a bit shorter this week. It seems like the rookie production kind of dropped off for whatever reason on Week 7 here. But let's jump into it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with my number 5 first, which we're going to get down to this Cowboys and Buccaneers game. And we're going to head over to the defensive side of the ball, where we had the right end for Dallas Cowboys, KJ Henry, have 9 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack, and 1 forced fumble. So he's up there at our number 5 today. It was a close game between them two. Looked like he played a vital part for the Cowboys. Had 9 total tackles, got in the backfield, got some tackles for losses, a sack, and he also forced a fumble. And he makes our number 5 this week. And then let's get to our number 4, which we're going to head to the Seattle game. Seahawks at the Rams. And we're going to head over to the receiving side. We've kind of seen this guy on the honorable mentions. He hasn't quite had the big game to bring him into the top 5 yet, or he might have made the top 5 a couple times, but I'm not quite sure. But he had a big game this time. He had 6 receptions for 118 yards, so a lot of production for him there. Saw the ball a lot, had a lot of receiving yards, so he played a vital part in the Seahawks winning that game against the Rams, and he is our number 4 this week. And for number 3, we are going to move down to the Jets. We had the Jets versus the Panthers.
Is it like yellow envelope, sweetie?
And in the receiving section, we have Tyrell Shavers, the 6'6" speed wide receiver with 6 receptions for 125 yards. Didn't make it to the touchdown, but he had a huge game. Did they win that game? Yeah, that was the game that the Jets won, so he played a big part in getting the Jets down the field. He had 6 for 125, and he is our number 3 this week. Number 2, we are going to go to this Bengals game. The Bengals told us to look out for this guy, and apparently there was a reason for it, because Thaddeus Moss, the tight end, he had a big game this week. He had 4 for 59 and 2 touchdowns. He didn't have as much production as those other 2 that I put him ahead of, but I kind of gave him a bump up with the 2 touchdowns because he did get in the end zone twice. So I gave him that bump up ahead of them. I guess it just depends on how you value the touchdowns, but I valued those above the more yardage. So he had the 2 touchdowns there, and he is our number 2 this week. So we're looking out for him, Bengals. Good game for him. And let's head to our number 1. So we already saw the Seahawks in the top 5 with this tight end, but he had another receiver who was actually able to get some good production and get in the touchdown. That was the wide receiver Eli Stove. He had 4 for 112 and a touchdown. We've seen him on the list quite a few times. He's either been right there at the bottom of the top 5 or just almost there in the honorable mentions. His thing is he usually doesn't see the ball a whole lot, but when he does, he's usually making big plays. So a lot of times you might see him in there with 2 for 100 yards, no touchdown, or 1 for 60 and no touchdown, something like that. But this time he got a little bit more. He was 4 for 112, and he was able to take it for a touchdown as well. So he was a big part along with that tight end in Seattle for that huge win there that they had, 30-14 against the Rams. So now I'm just gonna hop into some honorable mentions. Like I said, the list isn't too crazy this time. The rookie production was a little bit down this week, but we'll go ahead and we'll jump into them. Philadelphia had their right end Brandon Bowen have 5 total tackles and a sack. Carolina had their safety Amari Burney have 9 total tackles and 3 tackles for loss and a deflection. Baltimore had their middle linebacker Derek Allen have 6 total tackles and 2 sacks. Minnesota had their middle linebacker Dorian Etheridge go for 5 total tackles and 2 interceptions. Detroit had their safety Richard LeConte III have 5 total tackles and an interception. Tennessee had their wide receiver KJ Hamler go for 1 reception, 51 yards, and he was able to get in the touchdown. Tennessee on the defensive side had Kenneth Murray Jr., the middle linebacker, have 7 total tackles and 2 deflections. And then finally, Seattle had their cornerback Kerry Vincent have 7 total tackles and a tackle for loss. And that's going to wrap up our Week 7. We'll see you in Week 8 for that mid-season look at the rookies. So far, all the way up to Week 8, see who's in the running for Rookie of the Year on the offensive and defensive side. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you then. Peace.